Welcome to the Walk-Ons. I am your Spinnaker 2020 Hall of Fame inductee, Drew McDonald, also from our sports editor. To my left is the Jaguars insider for UNF slash Spinnaker sports editor slash famous Jameis aficionado, John Watson. How you doing today, John?
Doing well, doing well. The Jameis Winston, of course, is on the Saints this week, and this week it's always been on the Saints for last year. He might be starting this week. He might not be. I saw reports earlier today that Taysom Hill might be starting, but I'm doing well. Sitting here in beautiful Tampa, Florida. Let's see what the weather is today, Drew. 81 degrees, so it's a beautiful day out here. And
Does that call back to your former Nest News weather updates?
yes, Miller Mott. Today we got 3-foot stuffs. Howdy guys. I don't know, but
There's less swells up in the other
we got
west.
swells over there, and it's not going well over there. But don't go surfing over there. But what's up, Drew? What you got going on? You got high school football covering, right? What do you got tonight?
High school football, I have Jupiter High School against Palm Beach Lakes, and actually, John, Jupiter is known for their kickers. So they have Mr. Cody Parkey, former
Uh,
he's in the Browns. He's the famous double doink kicker.
yeah,
Um,
go to work.
and also there's Mr. Matt Bosher, who was a Falcons punter for a couple years ago. But yeah, Jupiter's playing Lakewood High School. Jupiter has a running back who's a sophomore, and the Jupiter High School has, I think it's uh, they have 18 touchdowns on the ground,
hmm
and their sophomore running back has 10 of those himself through 3 games.
That's crazy. Now, you talk so highly of Jupiter's kickers, but how is their kicker this season? Is there any like pre-game things you're looking for?
Well, they score so much, John, to give a chance to kick field goals. Kind of like it's they do a lot of 2-point conversions. So if you're a kicker and Jupiter, you're kind of like chilling by the bench, drinking some Gatorade, just resting on your laurels.
Of course.
Um, it's definitely different than the college, like covering UNF, because it's not as organized with your own desk, or your own handout notes. Kind of like you got to follow
Yeah.
the game on your phone, so it's different, but it's fun. It's like I'm whatchamacallit, Iron Man 3. Going back to my roots. Training, getting ready, getting equipped for the next battle.
Mhm.
But
So
John Watson,
would you say that I have one more question about your high school football career here? Um, the post high school football career. But would you say that, filming video on your phone and, posting it to Twitter at your account Run DMC 912, I think it is, right?
there's an underscore in the middle between.
Underscore 912, yeah. But posting the videos and, posting little tweets of that, how is that compared to what you learned from journalism school here at UNF?
I think our teachers, they they taught us kind of like the building blocks of like print journalism, and taking notes. But it's different now in the past couple of years. People want videos because they have a short attention span. They want to see videos and highlights. So basically, with COVID, reporters can be on the field. They have to be like 15 yards from like a player or coach to make sure your distance.
Mhm.
But those videos don't go viral, but they get attention because the players, if you tag them, they'll retweet it. Coach will retweet it. Also, the players' moms always retweet that and comment. And I got a DM from one of them to send them the video. So it's recording those videos is good because you get a lot of more followers and views. But also, there's so much talent in South Florida in high school football.
I love my high school kickers. They're either really, really good or really, really bad. And
Also, I love special teams in high school football. They are the best because they run fake punts and they're so smart because here's a play, John, where it's a punt and the returning team it hits off the guy's leg, which means, John, the kicking team gets the ball. It's their ball. They're
yeah,
so smart in the head that they do those things, and I'm like, those little things I love to watch because it's so it makes the team better. I think.
it's a different creative offense, and it's something that college football and you got away from in college football and pro football. Even college football, they have creative plays like the one that Toledo run a few weeks ago. It was Toledo got ran against. It was like a fake spike, and with 5 yards to go on third down or something like that, and Toledo got caught lacking, and wide open in the end zone was this guy, and he was just like, "I'm gonna get this or whatever."
The
But
last thing I'll say, John, is that I care about high school last week, and here's a great storyline. Last year they lost to Palm Beach Lakes,
mm,
53-27, and the quarterback for that Lakes team transferred to Dwyer this year. So that quarterback from Dwyer faced his former team last Saturday, and he whomped on them. Yeah, 5 touchdowns on Palm Beach Lakes. And poor Palm Beach Lakes, they had this LOT thing,
mm.
which means Lakes on top. They lose 4-3-0. I talked to the coach, and his face mask said LOT, and I'm like, that didn't age well.
You should have been like, so Lake's on top. Yeah, what happened?
That was a very short interview.
But yeah, so we got a few things going on in professional sports, and even some ASUN basketball news with the schedules coming out. But what would you say is, a storyline from the last week that you've seen that's kind of stood out to you
And like in what sport exactly?
in any sport?
I I probably say with the NFL and how besides last night, the Cardinals have gotten much better, especially Kyler's gotten much better. And I think that they probably won the best games this season last Sunday against the Bills. That was a phenomenal ending to the game with a Hail Mary or Hail Murray.
Hmm. The Seahawks, of course, won that game last night, but I think the Cardinals are really, really good. I only stayed up until like the second half of the game. I'm a grandma over here in Tampa. At least I go to sleep early. But I think Russell Wilson, he was looking spotty in the first half, and I think that's what they were saying pregame is that he was making some bad decisions in the season and not making the correct throws and stuff like that. But as Russell Wilson gets older, you get a little more shaky. What was your like big highlight from that game? Was it the big game-winning sack or the game-win? DK Metcalf's good performance, or what was it?
If you watch too, the Seahawks had very banged up offensive line. Lots of sacks were allowed. There were some missed snaps. I think that like a rookie playing center yesterday, but I think that stats wise, Kyler was better than Russell Wilson. But I guess it's the Bear defense prevailed with Carlos Dunlap's sack, who's actually one of the new guys because he just left the Bengals, went to Seahawks.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think that the defense kind of told defense was the X factor in the win. DK should have had 2 touchdowns. There was a play where Russell Wilson threw like a fastball to Metcalf. They just couldn't corral.
Yeah.
I think the spotlight should go more on Metcalf this year than Russell Wilson, in my opinion.
Interesting. I'm a big DK Metcalf fan. Ever since the combine, he kind of drew a soft spot in my heart. Our boy Nathan Dean, he was on the plane with him coming back from the combine. That's crazy. He was sitting right next to him. But I think that what was I gonna say? The defense, Seattle defense, is very, very good this season. But I think it was supposed to be an offensively led game yesterday, and it didn't really turn into that because Seattle's defense with Jamal Adams and Carlos Dunlap, they did really well together, and set a tone of the game that was very, very cool, very cool.
And we'd be remiss, John, to not talk about the whole QB situation in New Orleans with this whole Falcons and Aints matchup. Make sure I'm emphasizing the Aints in this situation because they're not the stuff. Taysom Hill, starting quarterback for now. Who is he? He's a quarterback. He's a gunner. He's a tight end. He's like a everything. And I don't know if that's going to really do well, like if he's a traditional quarterback in the game, because the Falcons' defense is spotty. But I mean, how many trick plays can you run?
Yeah, I think as said by one of my friends on Twitter a few moments ago, the Saints are going to have to unload their whole entire playbook against the Falcons because Taysom Hill he's Taysom Hill. He gets the ball, he gets the snap, he runs. He can't pass. Well, he can, but it's just not very pretty unless it's
like rarely. It's like once every 3 games.
I think that if Jameis comes in the game, it'll be in the second half, and the Saints offense will get going unless Jameis throws a pick or 2. But I think one of the headlines that I saw yesterday was, do the Saints make a better Super Bowl contender with Jameis Winston as the quarterback?
Because I think that Breeze is getting to the end of his rope. I think it's probably his last year. It is last year. He's not Ben Drew Brees that we know.
Mhm.
Taysom Hill is kind of like a weird hybrid guy. I don't know if Jameis can operate in that system. He does have Michael Thomas, but Thomas has been very hit or miss this year. Lists 5-yard slants and talking on Twitter to random people. So I think that'll fall in the defense. I think for the Saints in Super Bowl contention because Cam Jordan's been a beast this year.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the Falcons in this one, but the Saints are a pretty creative team with Alvin Kamara and Taysom Hill and Michael Thomas, and I think they might find a way to win in some way. But if the Falcons can play like they did 2 or 3 years ago and play consistent, Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, and the other wide receivers, if they can do that with Todd Gurley at running back, they can do well. They
Also,
just
remember last year Thanksgiving, Young Koo had 3 onside kicks last year against the Saints. Let's do it again. Run back the tape into 3 onside kicks with Young Koo.
The thing about that was I was in my grandparents' house in Pensacola, and I was doing a puzzle. I don't know why I was doing a puzzle that night, but I was doing a puzzle, and I look over at the TV, and I'm like, "Wow, Young Koo just did an onside kick and returned it. What the heck, Young Koo, the guy who was on the Chargers."
Yeah.
And then you look at the old Chargers kickers like Josh Lambo, Young Koo, and how they're thriving now after being terrible on the Chargers. But I think the last thing that we're going to talk about today, because it's going to be a short episode, Jaguars QB struggles, Jaguars defense, CJ Henderson's out, Josh Lambo's also out for the kicker. So what's happening? What's up with the Jaguars?
His name is Chase McLaughlin, right? Is that his name? Yeah. He had a pretty impressive 52-yarder at Lambeau last week.
Yeah.
But the O-line was so terrible because 2 of James Robinson's touchdowns got called back as a holding. So those are the worst parts of that game, I thought, was the O-line.
Yeah. Like a holding call last night against the Seahawks that resulted in a safety. I think the Jaguars just need to play, honestly. They just need to play the games. They'll probably lose this week against the Steelers. They'll probably lose next week against whoever they're playing. I don't know. But at this point in the season, they're not trying to tank, but they're tanking, if that makes any sense. And having CJ Henderson out and your star kicker out, and also Gardner Minshew not playing is pretty favorable at tanking.
Johnny, did a story I saw yesterday, the day before about Jake Luton being possible long-term quarterback. Do you think that he could be a long-term quarterback for the Jaguars, or they go somewhere else, do you think?
Yeah, homeboy Riley Platt, our sports writer, wrote that story, and I didn't really look into it too much, except for editing, of course. But I don't think that Jake Luton's going to be the answer in Jacksonville with this upcoming draft coming up, because we'll have a top 3 pick if the season keeps going like it is now. But I think if Gardner Minshew comes back for the Jaguars this season, they might be able to pick up a win or 2 and mess up our chances of getting a quarterback like Lawrence or Justin Fields. But who knows? I don't know. Who knows?
I think that, Luton could be a decent backup, just kind of learn from whoever comes before him. But he had a solid game against the Texans, but again, Texans, they were kind of not that great of a team. So I don't know what to expect against the Steelers, but I mean, defending Claypool and Juju's going to be a pain in the butt for the Jaguars.
Yeah, I don't trust our defense with forget who's at the helm of that defensive line, but they just play such soft coverage that I think Juju Smith-Schuster and Chase Claypool, they're just going to go ham on this Jaguars team and rack up 42 points. We're going to make a prediction here. I'm going to say 42-17 Steelers. What about
Also, Jaguars, please stop tripping referees. It's not fun. Like, it's like this one dude on the entire game just tripped the referee, which it was an instant meme for the whole entire day. So please, respect your referees. Don't trip them. Let them do their jobs.
So do you have a score prediction for the game?
Yeah. Well, given that the Steelers almost lost to the Dallas Cowboys and Garrett Gilbert, I don't think they're going to smoke them. But, I mean, maybe a simple 24-13 win, I think.
All right. I don't give the Jaguars much faith, except for that I covered the team on 2 occasions, but I will not be covering the game this week. I'll write something up, but we'll see. But yeah, do you have any more closing points? Any hot takes, cold takes, freezing cold takes?
Yes. Nick Mullins is not terrible. I think he'll be a quarterback for a different team next year, possibly a starting quarterback.
Nick Mullins.
Not for a good team, but for a team.
I'm going to say my freezing cold take. It'll be the boy Antonio Brown. Can't stay out of trouble. As much as I love the guy, as much as I want him to do well for my fantasy team, he needs to figure out his life. And, at least he's good for the Buccaneers.
Also, 5 days until UNF plays East Kentucky in basketball. Can't wait for it.
Let's go, Ospreys. I don't know who's going to be starting for point guard, but I guess we'll find out. We'll do another episode of the Walk-Ons the day after that game, and we'll evaluate UNF men's basketball and how they're doing.
Sweet.
So for Drew McDonald and your boy John Watson, it's been another episode of the Walk-Ons. Antonio Brown, if you're watching this, fix your life.
Bring it for you.
Working for you.